Hi there, this is Mike Meier with Mike Meier DIY. Hey, I just finished putting ceiling tile in my house. I've done this to several houses over my lifetime, and I've got this product that I think is underused. Actually, I love this stuff, but some people don't. I'll let you be your own judge of that. This product is made by Armstrong. It's made in the United States, and it's ceiling tile. And I like the ones that are 1 foot square, because usually if a ceiling is so bad that you want to cover it up, it's a little bumpy. So I'm going to turn this camera around and show you the box it comes in, and I'm going to lay some down here on the floor and let you see how they work. And then I'll show you, well, you can see it behind me up in the ceiling. I'm not done with this room. All I have to do is put a little bit of trim around it. I wouldn't have to trim it. I could caulk around the edge, but I just like to have wood trim around it to make it airtight. Let's see, 7 times. It's got almost 300 tiles on it. That's a lot. Of course, a lot of them are trimmed too. A lot of them are half tiles and little pieces. There is some waste to it, but up there now about $1 a foot, and that's one of the cheaper ceilings you can put in, as far as trying to cover them up. It would have been maybe half of that to tape and float it and smooth it all up, and it still wouldn't have looked right. I mean, when you get a really rough ceiling, it's really hard to straighten it without putting on all new drywall. And this is about the price of putting on new drywall. So here you go. Okay, this is some of the scrap you can see. I save them there. Sometimes I can use them in little odd spots. Pretty much they're just scrap. That's what's left of 7 boxes. Like I say, it was a 14 by 17 room, and I basically used 6.5 boxes. There's 40 in a box, I believe. Let me get the box down here where we can look at it. Okay, I think I got enough light in here for this. Should tell you everything you need to know, but nothing like actually seeing them. Let's pull some of these out here, put them on the floor. So basically, when you put these up, the first ones, of course, are just glued, or you could put some little tiny white nails in there. I usually keep some aluminum nails around if I need to do it, and then the trim will cover that up. They're made to interlock. So let's say I had a perfectly square room, which you never do, but let's say you did. You would want to put up the first one. Let's just make believe that this is a ceiling. So turn yourself upside down. That's what you're going to see when you're on the ladder looking up. And let's say I've stapled this one. I usually staple it 1, 2, 3, 4. And of course on the back, I'll put some glue. Oh yeah, one other thing, just so you know what it looks like. That's what it's made out of. It's some kind of, almost looks like newspaper that's glued together. They're about a 1/2 inch thick. Got little grooves in them. Very light, very light. Almost like styrofoam, only it's not styrofoam. So try it. I say I like to use the Liquid Naze heavy duty because I've always had really good luck with this. I know for half the price you can get indoor, but hey, if the glue doesn't work, you're done, you know. Cut it with just a utility knife. Very easy to cut. Always cut them on here down. That way it pushes down and it doesn't make a ragged edge. The back of these is real smooth. they're pretty, but they will bend a little bit. In fact, when you buy these, if you see them loading them up and one of the boxes is crushed or anything, don't buy it, because these things can't take much abuse. You'll notice some of my cuts here. I try to angle that cut a little bit. That way, if you're putting this up, if you're putting this up and you hook it in, you can slide it up better. If this is beveled a little bit up against the wall, it doesn't have to be real tight. If you use a 1/2 inch quarter round or whatever you want to use for trim, it'll cover it up. But I try not to get a groove. I try not to leave more than at least this. The worst would be a gap that big away from the wall. I like to keep it as close to the wall as I can. And then the planning, you have to kind of plan for a crooked wall. If you start out with a full one on the wall, you're asking for trouble, because then you got no place to go if the wall moves or anything. So 3/4 or a 1/2 is what I try to use. That's about a 3/4 one there. That one's about 5 inches. So that's how I do it. Okay. I'm going to cut this one at 10 inches. Okay, it might be a little rough here. You're on the same table as I'm cutting on. You could have cut all the way through it, or you can just bend it like this. Go in the back like drywall and cut it. Okay. Remember, you got to believe you're looking up at the ceiling. I can't do it any better than that. So you always want 2 sides out so you got something to staple to. And all of a sudden, you come up against one that's kind of hard to hook into. You know what I mean? This edge, this little tiny edge goes in there. Okay, so you're trying to get it in there. Let's say there's a little bump under there and it's just a little off, and you're really having trouble getting it to go together because you got all these other ones hooked to it. Then you got one. Remember, since you're offset, you've got another one hooked in here already, about in the middle. So now you're getting some friction. You're trying to get that in there. Well, I take a little tiny piece of wood. It's about 10 inches long, so I don't get off the edge of them. And put it up against the ceiling. I don't mean hit it hard. I mean just tap it. And you can tap it. You can tap it this way, tap it this way, and get it in there. Don't hit it hard, because if you do, you can crush these things. Just tap it. It should go in there easy. That's about it. That's how you cut them. That's how you get them started. And you'll just have to learn on your own now. Okay, this is my 3rd attempt at this, trying to get this right. Again, I'm trying to put these up so that I can make it look like the room is square. So hopefully when I go to put this full piece in, it'll be square with those two. We'll see. Okay, I'm going to put the first full piece on now. I've already tried it. It fits, but I want to show you. We use this liquid nails. I'm going to put a blob. I don't try to smear it around. I like a blob. That way it kind of self-levels itself. And sometimes I put one in the middle. Oh, it's pretty good. But remember to release, or you'll just squirt this stuff all over while you're waiting on the next tile. As you can see, I've been going along buttoning this up. And then I realized that, I forgot to tell you, I mentioned wanting to get everything square. And you can't go by the walls. You just can't, because the walls, I've never owned a house that had perfectly straight walls. Maybe they may exist, but I don't know where they're at. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you how I did it. And I think you can do this on any house. But this house was easier because the ceiling was so bad. It was real easy for me to find where they put these 4x8 sheets of, you can call it drywall, call it whatever you want. But there were 4x8 sheets, and I had to count on those being square. So that's probably the only square thing in here. So what I did was I decided which wall I wanted to start with, and I followed this. I found the center, and I marked. I actually did it over here where you can't see it, but to begin with, I found the one closest to the wall, and I chalk lined right down that seam the whole way, both ways. I went over the top of it now, but that's the way I did it. So then I measured over, say, I don't know, 2 feet, and chalk lined another line, and pretty soon I had a straight line over here. Then I measured from it to start my tiles. You may see that blue line when you're looking at the first videos I made, and that's what I used as a reference point. As you can see, I'm almost gone the whole 17 feet, and I thought maybe I'd done all this for a waste of time, because I kept getting this 3.5 inch tile. See it there? 3.5 inch. But then when I got to about to this window, it started reducing and reducing and reducing and reducing and reducing. And as you can see, that one there is about 2.5 inches at the narrow end. I don't know if you can see that, but it is. See it right there? So tomorrow I want to go ahead and put this piece in here, and it'll probably be about 1.5 inches, but I'll be at the wall, so it doesn't matter. And if you don't believe that that'll work, I noticed this one after I got done. See this tile right here? Look how even it is with that seam. Pretty darn even, eh? So that's what I'm doing. The main thing is don't count on your wall being square. And I've offset these right there. See, offset. And the reason I do that is so, just take this tile for instance right here. Way back, let's get back here. You can see that that tile is actually connected to that tile, that tile, that tile, that tile, that tile, and that tile. So it's got 6 other tiles to keep it square. That's the safest way to put this up. I have put a ceiling in like this on a very rippled ceiling, and it's a lot harder because then you start getting gaps. Because I think I mentioned it before in another part of this video that if it's wavy, the distance is more than a foot, you know. And the tiles conform. They will bend a little bit. And that's why I went with the 1 foot square instead of the 2 foot square and all that stuff. Because it can conform a little bit. And then when you put the glue on the back, that actually gives it a little more chance to conform. That's an old trick we did with paneling years ago. And it works out pretty good for me. To me, it's much easier to do this than to try to tape and float this whole ceiling. For one thing, my old feet just can't handle it. Another thing, I'm not talented enough. So that's what I do. And you end up with an acoustic ceiling. A little bit of insulation. It's like a 1/2 inch thick. That's where we're at. And today I didn't want to turn off the power because I got here late in the evening and I didn't want to be working in the dark. So I just went as far over as I could without coming to this fan. I got to turn off the power and drop that fan off the ceiling tile it, punch a hole right there and put the fan back up. The directions with this stuff does not show doing this at all. 15-20 years ago, they mentioned doing this. They quit doing it. Now they want to sell you a whole bunch of grids and stuff to put this up.